now here you are in my studio,
It works
live
out.
and in person, and I don't have to set a video screen here of you, which is a lot better. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the EJMast Plus podcast. I'm your host, Elson Mast, and today I have a buddy with me all the way from Ireland. You can go ahead and introduce yourself.
It's great to be here. My name's Benjamin Heinzel. I'm born in Ireland, way off in Europe, near England. It's good to be here.
Alrighty, and so a lot has happened since I recorded the last episode with Elmer, and you should go check that out. Both episodes are out and on YouTube, Spotify, and on Apple Podcasts, video versions on YouTube and Spotify. But basically, I, since the last episode, became a school teacher, so I'm teaching school now, and just at a little private schoolhouse for our church there. And so I'm no longer working there at Dutch. So I'll probably return their camera and you'll be seeing a lot more of this quality. So workers' privileges, I guess. So you can kind of talk about what your career and I guess what you do there in Ireland.
Yeah, so I went to a college up in Cavan, which is my hometown in Ireland, and I went for professional cookery courses. What I did there, just to learn how to cook. It's a passion I've had for many years, growing up for cooking for my family. To be honest, I usually cooked more American foods than the Irish, just because of my upbringing, and I feel right at home here in America. But I went to college and studied to be a chef there in Ireland, and then I went to work in a contemporary Irish restaurant, and that was an amazing work experience there. I was running a section. It was the starter section, so first course on the menu. I had to prepare all the food, and we could have anything from 2 customers to 300 customers on a day. So
big fluctuation, huh?
A lot of fluctuation there.
Huh.
And especially days like Mother's Day, that was the biggest day we had. That's when we got the 300 people in.
So what were you kind of cook for starters? Like
a big favorite there would have been curried prawns, just simply pan fried with a little bit of curry. Wasn't very spicy, but it had lovely flavors, and put a bit of flatbread on the side of that. Also had fresh sourdough loaves that we made, and we served that with garlic and butter prawns.
Oh, nice!
And those were the best sellers, as always.
So, are you still working there at the restaurant, or?
I've actually left there. Over just over a year, I spent working there, and now I'm moving to a small bakery. The kitchen and the bakery are about the same size, but what I'll be doing is like very different. Another learning experience for me.
So, what are you baking there? Are you baking stuff instead of cooking stuff, basically?
Exactly. Yes, I'll be making carrot cakes. There's the big seller, lemon drizzle cakes. We have anything you want. We have it there pretty much. Big favorite is the seasonal mince pies. That's very.
Do you have one of them fancy chef hats and outfits?
Yeah,
kind of like Nick DiGiovanni. Have you ever seen his?
I have seen his stuff, but no, we don't actually have that.
You don't have the chef outfit?
No. In the restaurant, we had a white jacket and apron, but in the bakery, we just have an apron. I like having a towel on the side so I can wipe stuff down very easily. But no hats. Mom actually made me some nice big puffy hats, but I haven't used them very much.
All right. So how long have you been working there at JB's?
JB's, I did about 3 years part-time, and then I went to do my college course, a year there and a year working, and now I'm moving back down full-time, more of a management role, I'd say, in the bakery.
So that was just last couple months that you moved back down, or?
Exactly, yeah. Just recently.
Okay.
Moving down. and now it's just starting to get
Starting
into
over
it
and
now.
nice.
Yes.
All right, so I'm sure you got a lot of hobbies. I know you got a YouTube channel where you do some drone videos.
Absolutely, yes.
What's the name of that?
Bentley Drones.
Bentley Drones on YouTube. I think you at a couple hundred subscribers, 160.
140 subscribers on YouTube, and
So if my 20 would
few
go over there
more.
and subscribe, then you'd have 160.
and I'll try to get some over here.
And then
Yeah.
send them this way, and then we're just like transitioning subscribers. So
Awesome.
that'd be pretty cool. And then one of your other hobbies is cycling, right? You cycle a lot. I have your account on Strava, and you see Ben cycled for 50 miles, and you're like, wow, let's go. I struggle to do 10, you know.
Yeah.
But and then you also got the calm on one of the hills over there, didn't you?
A couple, actually. I think I've lost one or two recently.
Oh, did they get it back?
Some people came and got them back.
They said, nope, I'm taking that back.
I know, but I'm gonna work on a few more, and it's a nice goal to do.
Yeah.
Just a bit of
and
fun.
For the people that don't know, that's the King of the Mountain, right?
King of the Mountain, yeah.
And basically means the fastest time pedaling up the mountain.
Up the mountain, or it could be on a flat section or downhill, just a segment on Strava.
So the quickest time on that segment.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then you did this ride, I believe you told me it was a charity ride. Tell me some more about that.
Yeah, so it's an annual ride that is done in 3 different countries. Two of them are in England, one in Northern England, one in Southern. There's one in Italy, and then one in Ireland, Northern Ireland. It's called Chase the Sun. So the riders, about 260 riders in Ireland, started off at about 4:45 in the morning. Big mass start. We leave from Belfast, which is Northern Ireland, if you know the geography there a bit.
That'd be on the East Coast?
That's right, on the East Coast, yep. We start there and head north for a bit, and then west, all the way across Ireland, Northern Ireland, on a very hilly route. They try to make it a challenge.
They try to make it hard for you.
Yeah. But it's a ride where you're going all day, chasing the sun from sunrise to sunset. So it's called Chase the Sun, and that's the whole idea.
Do you get many breaks, or how do you do that?
Yeah, you can have as many breaks as you want, but there's a cutoff. Sunset is the cutoff.
So you got to beat the sun there.
Exactly. That's the goal.
So when you did it, how did you kind of go with a group or just kind of go by yourself?
Yeah, I started off by myself. I didn't know anyone there, and somehow just by riding, you meet people. You're in this massive bunch of people, so you're passing along someone, you say hi, and then you move on to the next rider and you say hi to them. Eventually, I got into a group of 3 other riders, and we stuck together for about 10 hours of the riding.
So how many hours was the ride?
We had about 13 hours riding. So the first 3 I was by myself, and then we found this group and we stuck together. And
oh wow, that is a long time to be on a bicycle seat.
It was, yeah. You were getting tired by
how many miles, or you might know the kilometers that was?
Yeah, it was 340 kilometers, which about your 200 miles.
I'll throw it up on the screen.
Get somewhere.
This is where the Irish and the Americans have differences. We have they have the kilometers and we have the miles. So this podcast is going to be friendly for both audiences. So if I forget, then you'll just have to yell at me in the comments, I guess.
Yes.
But I'll try to remember to put those conversions up. And so you probably kind of find someone that goes the same tempo as or same speed as you, and so it's pretty comfortable, right? With
exactly, yeah.
Have you kept up with them at all after that, or you just kind of meet them on the ride for 10 hours and then you just leave again?
No, absolutely. And you create a friendship with them, which is,
I would say,
different.
You go through a struggle for 10 hours together, that's...
It's going to stay for a bit, yeah.
Yeah.
No, there's this one guy who's doing, similar to the Tour de France, it's just a 1-day stage race in Ireland. and he's doing that in just a few weeks. So I might be there to see him at the finish line.
Oh, nice.
I can't go because of this holiday, this trip here in the States, but get to see him at least. So that'll be fun.
So for meals, what did you do for meals in Chase the Sun? Like, did you eat at all, or did you just ride on no food?
I had lots of gels and carb mix and flapjacks and lots of sugary stuff. And then we had wraps, chicken wraps.
Then you kind of ate while you cycled? Or?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, I see.
We just kept riding. We had like, I think an hour or something stops altogether in the 13 hours. But we just kept riding. Had a lunch stop. And
how did your legs feel after that? The thing that
they were gone.
The thing that I found crazy was that, like, the day after that, I think you were hiking somewhere, and I was like, if I would have done that, I would have never survived. But if I would have survived, I would be laying like flat in bed, just like barely surviving anymore. I would not be hiking anywhere.
No, I know. It was, I think just the idea of like how competitive it was. It wasn't supposed to be a race, but we just raced. And that just gave me energy for it.
But maybe your legs don't get sore. I don't know.
I probably had a lot more practice on it. So.
Yeah. Did you cycle a lot just for commuting, or how do you train for such a long ride?
Definitely not how I trained. Like, I didn't do enough. But I would have cycled to work every now and then, which was 20 kilometers.
That'd be 10-ish miles.
10-ish miles.
A kilometer is 0.6 of a mile, so whatever the conversion is there.
So around there, you can put it up in the box there.
In the box in your hands.
So yeah, that would have been some of the exercise there and back, plus standing all day, so your legs don't get rest. And then I just go riding. We had some mountains nearby, not massive like here, but I go riding them, and that just consistency.
On that, yeah.
Yeah.
And do you have any, like, what kind of bike do you have? You got some like fancy carbon fiber bike, or?
It's an aluminum frame, but I have carbon wheels now. I didn't have actually then. It was like an entry-level bike, but I've made it just so it rides perfectly for myself.
You customized it and fixed it up nice.
Exactly, yes.
And
just you dial your position, get nice and arrow, and you can ride pretty fast.
What's your max speed, you know?
The max speed, I think it was 90-something kilometers an hour. Again, miles.
That's boogin'.
It was going fast. I don't know how long
was
I
that
did it for.
On the Chasing the Sun?
Wouldn't
or you're
been.
Just saying overall record?
I think that's the overall record. But I believe that was on another ride I did with Mr. Zook, actually. We rode from the most southern point in Ireland all the way to the most northern point. Just like 5 days riding with stuff on our bikes.
Like so packs and stuff, like camping.
Yeah, we camped out. And so nearing the end, there was some pretty steep hills. I just took off down the road. And
you do wear helmets, right?
Oh, always, yeah.
So he wears a helmet. That's a good thing. He's not like some of the Americans over here just riding motorcycles without helmets. Don't do that, by the way.
Don't do that.
If you ride a motorcycle or a bicycle, wear your helmet. So you mentioned you are in the States. I had been wanting to do a podcast with you and thought we'd maybe do it remotely, and then you were like, hey, we might be over here. So now here you are in my studio.
It works
live
out.
and in person. And I don't have to set a video screen here of you, which is a lot better. So kind of what's the reason for your trip, and what made you decide to come to this area?
Well, my sister's finally getting married in Georgia. That's a bit a ways away from Ohio, but I met Elson in Ireland. He came on a youth trip, and we met there, and a bunch of other guys from his church, and I guess Mr. Zook would have been your teacher. So his teacher moved to Ireland and became my teacher, and so this is his hometown. It was nice to see here, and
Yeah, Mr. Zook. I would have been homeschooled, but he was my music class teacher, so I would have had him as kind of a teacher too, and a lot of good memories and stuff. And so then he moved to Ireland. That was actually the reason that our youth group went over there. Mr. Zook was from our church, and he kind of moved over there as his whole family, or he moved his family there kind of as a mission, I believe, and is teaching school there. Is he? He's the deacon there.
He's a deacon now. Yeah, he's also the principal of the school
At the church, and then he's the principal of the school there.
Mm-hmm.
And so our youth group had went over there
2 years ago now.
2.5 years in July. It would have been 2 years, so it'd be close to like 2 years, 3 months, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And we split wood, and then we painted some houses, and then we split wood, and then we stained some barns, and then we split wood again. We split so much wood, but
yeah, that was crazy.
We were supposed to be there just a little over a week, and then our flight ended up getting canceled, which was a whole thing.
Yeah,
it was big.
Gotta hang out more.
Ordeal, and we worked about half the time we were there, and then the other half the time we got to tour Ireland and see all of their cool stuff they got there. And so now he's here seeing the stuff we got here. So I took him yesterday down to see the Rankin House in Ripley, and John Parker, I believe, house in Ripley as well. Would have been stops on the Underground Railroad. And then today, I believe you went to see the Creation Museum, or like the Ark.
The Ark Encounter, yes.
The Ark Encounter. So how was that experience?
It's an incredible thing. I mean, if you haven't seen it, I think you have to. Like, just seeing the scale of the Ark, how they might have done stuff there. When you read the Bible, you can see the measurements there, but you don't have an idea of how big it is.
Especially if you read like cubits. We don't really use cubits anymore.
Yeah. It's just the same like kilometers and miles. We don't understand the difference there. But it was amazing to see it there.
You get up here on the top of the hill, they got the museum built, and I think I've been there probably close to 5 times or something. I think it's really well laid out, and
it is,
like the exhibits and stuff they got there, and then they have those fake people. I think they made them pretty realistic.
Yes.
And then they also have like a little virtual reality ride there and a zoo. I'm not sure, is it petting zoo?
Small petting zoo. Yeah, they got kangaroos there you can go right up to.
You can ride camels if you're I think the kids can ride camels. I don't think the adults are allowed to. But it's a really cool place to go. All right. And so he also mentioned earlier when he was talking about being a chef that he moved back to Dunmore East, right? And so I'm going to give you a chance to talk a little bit about that area. Kind of where do you live? And where you go to church there and stuff like that.
Yeah. So we have a small community there. It's the Dunmore East Christian Fellowship. It's an Amish Mennonite community. They have a bakery there, where there's a gas station, a bookshop, and just a small general store. It's almost like the store you have here.
The Home Place?
The Home Place, yeah. Just a lot smaller.
Is that JB's?
Yes.
They have a gas station.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. I believe they also have ice cream, right?
They do.
We stopped in there.
They have soft serve.
Soft serve ice cream. Which
is controversial, but it's better than what we have here in the Home Place.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the Irish ice cream is pretty good. It's also, you also have that, what's that? Or maybe that's just what you call ice cream. Something with a G word or...
The G word. Gelato?
Yeah, that.
Well, that'd be more Italian.
But I seen quite a bit of that there as well. Like in the towns and stuff, you would see more of that.
Especially,
and they always stick the
99 chocolate wafer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very popular.
Yeah.
You call it the 99 cone, and it's got a little bit of chocolate. I think that's the best part of the cone.
Yeah.
Some people don't like it.
That was the thing. One of the things we did a lot in Ireland is we'd get like the cones, and they'd always have that little chocolate thing in there, and it was pretty good. So you'd have that little store, and that's where you're gonna work, right?
That's where I'll be working. Yes.
And then are you just living by yourself as a bachelor, or?
To an extent, yes. There's limited housing for lads' house. There's a girls' house because we got a lot of youth coming over from the States for the shop and the bakery. But I'll have a little cabin, just a one room. It's got a small kitchen, bed, living room, and that will be right beside the church. So I won't have any excuse to be late
for church.
Yeah.
So that'd be, I'd kind of know that area. Would it be behind the place where we had slept?
Yeah, behind the gym.
Behind the gym, there's
a small cabin.
So that's where you would be staying.
Exactly.
Then.
Yeah.
All right.
And I'll have there's another teacher. He'll be staying in a flat, the flat above the gym. You probably might not have been there.
I don't believe you put a loft in on top, or like a...
No, there's a staircase on the side of the house,
mm-hmm.
and that goes to a small flat bedroom and kitchen.
I must have not seen it there.
Yeah.
I was in the gym, and then that mini barn where the school rooms were.
Yeah.
And then, what's the shop back there? What do they do there, though?
Oh, that's a wood shop. They do wood products, like they build sheds and gazebos, and I believe they would have done chicken houses back in the day, rocking benches. They've started plastic furniture, get a bit more of the different colors there. And that's very popular. They sell it at JB's, the shop.
And then you go to the church there where Josiah or Mr. Zook is
the deacon. Yes.
And so that's kind of about Dunmore East, right? Is there anything else you want to kind of mention about that?
Well, there's also a boys' camp in the area.
That's a good thing to mention.
Yeah, it's connected to the Dunmore East community, but it's about 45 minutes away, so there's not a ton of intermingling, interconnection. But it's a boys' camp out in the woods. They have lads over who are troubled lads. They've got difficulties relating to parents and peers, and maybe they've had difficulties with addiction or whatnot. And they get to be there and have pretty much a life-changing experience where they learn what life is about and learn good ethics and manners. And
one of our youth guys is actually over there as a chief.
That's very true.
So hopefully one of these days I'd like to have him on the podcast as well. I think he'd have some pretty interesting stories, and he could tell a lot more about that camp. I don't have. It's on my private YouTube that y'all can't see because I'm not done editing it yet, and I'm not sure if I'll ever finish it. I had started a series from our Ireland trip, and about a year ago I got tired of editing all the videos and just stopped. So
I was wondering where it went.
I just kind of forgot about it pretty much, and it's sitting in the corner gathering dust. If I ever decide to finish it off, I might. But I do have a video almost finished of the boys' camp. I don't know. I might eventually. If you're lucky, you might see it someday. But you have a twin brother that works there, right?
I do, yeah. He's the maintenance manager in the boys' camp.
Yeah. So what did he kind of do? Just
have fun all day.
Do they weed eat much there? I guess, what would you call that? Weed whack or?
Strimming is what we call it. Yeah, but I'm used to weed whacking and that term. Yeah, grass grows like
really fast there.
Too fast. It's like you mow it one day and the next day it's already time to be mowed again. Just because we have so much rain, it's always growing. And
so he just kind of keeps everything trimmed up there.
Yeah, he works on that. Everything is made out of wood there in the camp. So like the trails, they got to be redone every now and then, and of course there's car maintenance.
So he would work some on that.
He would do some on that. The Irish roads, they're rough and they're very small, very narrow. You got hedges along them, and cars will be coming against each other all the time. So dents to buff out, mirrors to put back on, just all that stuff to do.
Yeah. So that's a pretty nice transition to maybe talk a little bit about the Irish culture versus the American culture, I guess. Y'all drive on
The left
the
side.
left side of the road. I always think that we have the right way to do it because we drive on the right, but
I agree with that. You drive on the right side of the road, but we sit on the right side with the steering wheel. So.
You sit on the right side, and we sit on the wrong side, I guess, or we just sit on the side that's left.
Yeah.
But that was one of the weirdest things coming over to Ireland, and there'd be a dude sitting in the driver's seat, but he's not in the driver's seat, and like you're just sure you're driving on the wrong side of the road and you're gonna get hit, but it's like apparently the right side over there. And so I'm sure that's kind of weird for you being over here and driving on the opposite side. I'm not sure.
It is, yeah. I think the weirdest thing though is the size of the vehicles. Everything's bigger here. I think that's what I have to get used to when I'm driving here. I drove back from the shop, and the roads are okay. I don't like how many stop signs y'all have here.
That is something that America does not believe in, yield signs like
Ireland. Yeah, nearly every road is a yield sign.
And you have a lot of roundabouts, which is also kind of nice. We're starting to catch up with y'all in that. We're starting to have more roundabouts. Some Americans don't like them because they don't know how to use them. But I personally like them. They just kind of flow everything nicer.
Yeah, it just works.
Especially down in Florida, like Sarasota area where we go in the winter. There's a lot of roundabouts there. So
that's interesting.
And they just added one a couple years ago, just up here in Mount Orb. So they're starting to creep in here and there, which is kind of nice. And then y'all would have more yield signs, right?
That's true, yeah.
And less stop signs.
Yeah, stop signs on T-junctions mostly, where you need them, not on a four-way junction.
You don't have four-way stops?
No, we don't have four-way stops. I feel like that's kind of weird.
Yeah. And then your cars are mostly manual, right?
That's true.
You would shift with this hand?
With the left hand.
With the left hand. So
more control, I think.
Drive like this. No, over here in America, you basically don't find a manual. And if you drive a manual, then you're pretty safe from thieves because nobody knows how to drive a manual over here because everything's automated. And then our roads here would be a lot wider, I think.
It would be a lot wider, yeah.
We have some here in Ohio, and especially down in Kentucky, we have some roads that we think are pretty narrow, but they're actually kind of like the Irish roads. Like the very narrow ones are like that. Yeah, Irish roads all are. And then, of course, they have kilometers an hour instead of miles an hour. So I'll be working doing conversions maybe.
I think the biggest thing is the hedges on the side of the road. They have to be cut back, otherwise they just grow in and you can't get off the road.
There's like hedges everywhere. That's another thing. Like here you can kind of see out and look around. They're hedges, like you can't see anything. Like
especially how low the cars are. It's a lot of smaller cars. You don't have the trucks and all that. So you can't see anywhere anything like higher than where you're sitting. You're blind, so that's a big thing.
And then y'all have thistles over in Ireland and hedgerows. I was marching through the hedgerows once and sandals, and that was a big mistake.
That's a mistake, yeah. You need to have some proper things.
And I think you have, what is it called? Stinging nettles.
Stinging nettles.
We have a little bit of that there, but you had pretty thick over there as well. And then you would have fish and chips.
Yes.
Which is what we would call fish and French fries.
Okay.
And then your chips, like if you have potato chips, what would you call that?
I would call them potato chips.
Potato chips,
yeah.
All right.
We call the potatoes spuds. That's the difference.
Spuds.
Yes.
What about crisps? Do you have crisps, or is that chips?
We call them chips.
Okay. So that might be more of a
That's
thing
why
from England or?
probably it's hard to say. Well, most of the culture from Ireland would have come from England, and they're trying to weed it out because they don't want to be connected to England anymore. That's
they're
a whole,
Irish, huh?
yeah.
And then, is there any other interesting facts about Ireland?
Well, there's a whole lot of interesting facts. I don't know. There's probably too many.
Too many.
Yeah.
It's probably afterwards we'll think about something.
Exactly.
I should have mentioned that, but
yeah.
I found it kind of interesting. You said lads. I guess we'd say like young guys or whatever.
Yeah.
The Irish, they call young men would be lads, right?
Lads, but not just the young men, and be the young girls as well.
Really?
They say lads to a group of people would be lads.
So it'd be youth would be the lads, or
yeah.
So after you're
generally, yeah.
Would it be after you're married? Is that kind of, or would even the married people be lads?
I feel like the married people be lads as well. I guess it just depends what friends you have.
Huh.
It could be married guys saying, "Hey lads, what's up?" I'm not exactly sure, but the distinction doesn't really apply to youth only.
That's kind of interesting. And then I wonder if there's any other, like, which you grew up kind of with the Amish Mennonites right there in Dunmore somewhat.
To an extent, it would have gone to them every few times a year.
And so you don't have quite as strong of a Irish accent as some people, I believe. And
I think you wouldn't be able to understand me if I had a full Irish accent. But
there's one Irish guy there that goes to the church, right? That's full-blood Irish. He told us stories once about like hurling. I guess that'd be another thing. Like, what kind of sports you have there?
Hurley is the big one.
Hurley.
It's a bunch of men run around a field with a stick. Well, it can be ladies as well. Yeah. The rules are no fighting. Well, you're not supposed to hit another player with the stick. They do it all the time. So you can sort of figure out how wild the sport is.
Flags for it, or like
they're supposed to, but the ref doesn't say anything. So
the ref doesn't care.
No, they just go on with it and whack away. It's a very rough sport, but they do that all over. And soccer or football,
we call
it football. That's very popular with the Irish lads. Yeah.
And then we would have American football here, where a bunch of big dudes run into each other. And the football enthusiasts are probably going to be mad at me for describing it like that, but
that's how it is.
What about do you play rugby over there at all?
There's some rugby. It wouldn't be the most played sport, but
there's some
for
of
sure.
that.
There's
what about probably no really American football?
No, not
the closest thing would be rugby.
The closest thing is rugby, which is basically American football without the padding.
And the ball's a little bit weird shaped. I think it's like not quite as long. It's a little bit more round.
Shorter. Probably about that size, yeah.
Alrighty, so I believe that's kind of all we have to talk about. Talked a little bit about Irish culture and you being a chef and chasing the sun and all kinds of cool stuff. It was a good time. Thanks for being on the podcast.
It's great being here.
And I guess with that, thanks for watching. If you're on YouTube, hit the like button and then hit the subscribe button, because that makes a thing go up in my studio, and then I'm like, yeah, I got another subscriber.
We're happy.
So you can make me smile by hitting that subscribe button. And then you can also leave a comment. You can check out the description, and there will be links to the Spotify version and the Apple Podcast version. There's also a link to my website. You can check that out. I got some of my projects there. And my other YouTube channel is also linked on there, where you can find the studio transformation video. And then I'll also probably on the end screen link Ben's video or channel, I guess it'd be. And I don't have any ratings on Apple Podcasts, so if you want to leave a 5-star on Apple Podcasts and be the first person to do that, then that'd be
You
cool.
should- you
Or
should
if
go
you
do
think
that.
I don't deserve it, then I guess that's too bad for me.
Then
yeah.
tell them what he should do better, and
Yeah.
then we'll
You
know
can
for next
comment,
time.
and then I'll know for next time. And hopefully this audio turns out a little bit better. I just did a quick thing and just plugged it into the phone this time. But anyway, I think that's it. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me. It
Yep.
was pretty good.
All right. Thanks for watching. God bless.
13th century.
So that'd be the 1200s. So like you got some like really old buildings there. I just ran out of words. All right, so let's see how many minutes we're at. And I want to make sure I'm still recording.
Yeah, the last section was not recording.
Oh, it was recording.
Okay, good.
So
O'Neill is his name. Simon.
I believe that would be right.
Yeah.
And then he had the Hurleys there, and Simon told us the story about the Irishman's hat. You ever hear that one?
Mm-hmm.
He had this, I'm not sure it was an Irish hat, but it was a broad brim hat. And he said that this guy was a little lacking in the upper story, and it was one of the workers, and so they ran out of water for the field workers. So the employer sent the dumber guy off because he figured the other guys getting more work done, and he is carrying the clay pitcher, and he's just walking along whistling, and he trips over a log and falls and breaks the pitcher. Gets up, keeps walking with the handle in his hand, and doesn't ever realize this. And he gets to the pub and says, "Hey, here's the money for, I think, a pint of something or other." And the guy's like, "Well, what shall I put it in?" And he's like, "This pitcher." And then he's like, "There's no pitcher there, it's just a handle." And so he's like, "Well, you can put it in my hat." So he takes his hat off, and the guy pours the drink in there and fills it up all the way to the brim, and then there was a little bit left yet in the bottom of the pint. And he was like, "Well, it'd be a shame to waste that." And so the guy that was at the pub that was selling it was like, "What do you want me to do with the rest of this?" And so this Irish dude, he goes and flips the hat over and is like, "Put it in the brim here." And so he's like, pours it in the brim there. So he walks all the way back to the field with his hat like this, and the worker, like the employer, was like, "Where's all the drink?" And he said, "It's here in my hat." And he goes, "But where's the rest of it?" And he flips the hat over and he says, "It's in here." And then he didn't have anything left.
Oh no.
It was pretty great. He told the story a lot better. Yeah,
It seems good.
he said that was an old Irish story.